Howdy tidy, gosh almighty, it's football time once again here at Piedmont. We're on the gorgeous campus of the Piedmont Bulldogs, and I'm here with our head coach, Steve Smith. Welcome to the Piedmont Football Show. Coach, what a way to start the 2014 campaign with a win versus rival Cherokee County.
It was a good night for us. Everything went well for us from the opening kickoff. Kids played really, really well, and just always excited to start the season off 1-0.
That's good. Talk a little bit about your defense, Coach. Since you've been at Piedmont, everybody knows the stats that your offense tallies from week to week. But since you've been in town, Coach, your defense has a reputation of being relentless and just dangerous. Talk a little bit about your defense.
Well, if you're gonna be successful, big time successful, you got to play great defense, and that's something that we've made a conscious effort to do. Coach Blanchard, our defensive coordinator, does a wonderful job each week having a plan together for those guys, and then, you know, we got all of our coaches, Coach Stovall and Coach Walker, work with the D-line, and Coach Glover and Coach Mitchell with the inside-outside backers, and Coach Bonds, Coach Blanchard working with the secondary. They put a lot of effort, a lot of time in the preparation, and go out and execute the plan. The kids play extremely hard, and you know, our defense has been something that I've been really proud of for the past several years. And you know, we always expect to be good on that side of the ball. We expect to be prepared, and we expect our kids to play hard, and they did just that on Friday night against Center.
We're going to get into some highlights from last week's game versus Cherokee County. And before we do that, we'd like to thank the Bulldog Nation for making last week's atmosphere a lot of fun. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the game Friday night versus Cherokee County. A lot of different players played a huge role in the win. Talk a little bit about that and who played well for you.
Well, we were fortunate enough that we got to play everybody in the game. You know, our starters pretty much in the skill positions played the first half and thought they made the most of their opportunities. Mitchell Benefield scored the first 2 touchdowns of his career here at Piedmont on 2 receptions. Drake Thompson had a long touchdown run and a kickoff return for a touchdown. CJ had a long touchdown catch and also called 2-point conversion. Tyler Lusk, Taylor Hayes, they combined to go like 7 for 8 passing for 240-something yards and 4 touchdowns. Those guys are obvious. Cody on defense with an interception and a couple pass breakups. We had some other guys on the defensive side. Bailey Blanchard, his first start, had 7 or 8 tackles. Also, I think Jacob Clark led our team in tackles for the game, and Kobe McFry I thought played well, Deontay Alexander. Our offensive and defensive lines kind of kind of a point of emphasis this week at practice, trying to get some more cohesion with those guys. I thought they played really well offensively. I think we gave up one negative play in the first half, no sacks. So I thought our line came together and did a much better job this week. Defensively, across the defensive front, I think all three of those starters on the front, and Bobbitt, Lucas, and Donaldson, all had at least one sack apiece. And then I saw our linebacker play was solid, secondary play. I think center was like 5 out of 19 passing for the game, so holding them to about 25% completion percentages, and making a lot of good plays in the secondary. The kicking game I thought was very solid for us. We mentioned the return that Drake had on the kickoff return, but also Cody Daughtry had a block on a PAT, and our kickoff coverage team was probably the thing that was most impressive. Something that's kind of become a trademark of our program. We've had guys going back to the Clay Dent days and Jamie Major days that were kind of madmen going down the field on kickoff team, and this year, got several new guys, new faces on that team, but thought they did an exceptional job. I think Drake had 2 touchbacks, and then we had 2 or 3 other times that we pinned them inside the 20, and the rest of them were inside the 25, So kickoff coverage was something that was fun to watch the other night.
When it comes to preparing for the upcoming teams, we're dealing with high school kids. We're not dealing with professionals. What's the toughest, maybe the hardest thing when it comes to keeping high school kids focused and getting them ready to play? And what's the hardest thing about that?
I think the hardest part is you've got limited time with them. These kids are still high school kids, and they still have to have a balance of keeping their studies up. It's not like college where you have a couple hours a day that you can meet with them by positions and things like that. And also, I think just keeping them fresh. I think from a coaching standpoint, when I first started out as a head coach, I subscribed to the philosophy we're going to practice as long as we had to get it right. Whereas today we go more with a practice plan, try to stick to our plan, and also put your ego to the side as a coach, because it's not really about how much you know as a coach, it's how much you can teach your kids and have them be able to execute in an efficient manner on Friday night. So if you come to our practices and things we do, we're not overly complicated. We try to keep things simple. We try to stay in a routine, and we also try to realize that hopefully our season's going to run for 15 weeks. Ultimately our goal every year is to play into the first week of December, and sometimes fixing a mistake might be backing off on the contact part of it and spending more time trying to teach them and show them either through film study or just on the field in a walkthrough type fashion. So, coaching, there's more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak, but in this profession, I think it's very important that you maintain a healthy balance for high school kids of instruction and actually going out and practicing something.
Thanks, Coach. This week we traveled to St. Clair County to play Asheville. What's your expectations, and what do you think about this upcoming matchup?
Well, we know it's got to improve from one week to the next. That's the thing. You don't want your best ball to be played the first week of the season. So we're looking to continue the things that we did well against Center on Friday night and try to improve on the things that we need to improve on.
Very well said, Coach. Thank you so much for joining us on the Piedmont Football Show with our head coach, Steve Smith. I hope you'll make the trip to St. Clair County. It's our first region matchup, so be there with your shaker or whatever your form of, rah-rah, and let's get it on. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.